We're going to jump. We're going to return to the topic of both interceptors, the Shaheds, and the Molnia with the carrying. As I said, we're going to dive very much in depth today. So let's talk with the fiber optics. You said that the regular FPV is not a question. So let's kind of not wrap up, but at least like get this layer of understanding about the FPVs and the fiber optics. How is fiber optics different, and what are the bottlenecks? Like why
Oh,
Ukraine cannot scale as fast as Russia? What is the issue? Is
yeah,
it the lack of fiber optics? Like
yeah.
it's what is it?
Why Ukraine? Hey, that's the name of my fundraising website.
So
So my website. So I have a YouTube channel. It's Why Ukraine. I have a website, whyukraine.com. You can see it on your screen there. The letter Y, the word Ukraine, all one word altogether. .com. Where if people want to buy supplies specifically for my laboratory, fiber optic cable, or fiber, optical fiber, media converters, the drones themselves, all of the tools that we need. I'm getting a bunch of new engineers in a couple of weeks, and I need to have the lab set up and prepared for them to sit down and go to town. I've got two engineers training on fiber optic spooling, and so let's talk about these bottlenecks. Fiber optics are, it's not a panacea. It's not a fix. Um, you know, Originally fiber optics were used just in the worst case scenarios when like let's say you have a you know you have a hill, and maybe your antenna is on the other side of a hill or it's on top of a hill, but you've got a shadow and the enemy is down here in that shadow. You have to have line of sight, or basically between your drone and that antenna, and you have to maintain that line of sight to um to operate that radio frequency drone. If they're down there in this valley, if you've ever had a bad cell phone coverage when you're practically right underneath a cell phone tower, okay? And like the cell phone tower's on top of a hill and you're in a valley and you're like, why am I not getting signal? I can see the tower. Well, it's because there's that shadow effect that happens. Okay, so that was a special situation for fiber optics, just an example. But now they have to be used almost everywhere because of that electronic warfare. Now, what are the bottlenecks? What are the problems? Spooling the fiber, okay? Spooling the fiber. In other words, comes on these big rolls from the manufacturer. They are unwieldy. I am testing ways to just use the raw spools, but it's not ideal unless you're using like a big, really big, like a vampire drone or something. Aerodynamics and angular momentum. Okay, think about think about like you've got to put you have a, let's say you have a 10-inch wide drone with four propellers, right? You got to put a battery on there, and that weighs so many kilograms. You got to put some kind of munition on there, and that weighs so many kilograms. And then you got this big ass freaking roll thing. Now normally you'd have a battery on top, and the munition would be on the bottom. Where are you going to put the roll, right? Because the further away you put the spool, the roll, the spool of fiber from the center of mass of the drone, the more unwieldy it becomes for the pilot to steer. Then also consider this: as the drone is flying, the flight characteristics change because it's letting out this fiber, and so it's losing weight. It's like it's going on a diet, a very fast diet, and so the pilots have to be more skilled to deal with that. Okay.
it's almost like the what is it, the space rocket mechanics, right? Like the
Yeah.
launch mechanics, where
Yeah.
it's like the velo like the you need to, what is it, the delta V changes
Yep.
based on the reduction in mass and so
Yep.
on.
Yep. I'm just getting started here. Okay. Now you're imagine, have if you've ever I don't know, pulled thread off of a spool of thread, right? Normally it comes off okay, but it comes off okay if you're holding the spool and you're letting it turn in your hand. But that's not how this fiber's coming off. Hold the Oh man, I had a sewing thread sitting around. I guess it's on the shelf out there. But imagine you're pulling the thread this way. Oh, here I can use a battery as an example. Here's a drone battery. But imagine this is a spool of thread, okay, and you're pulling the thread this way. Is it going to come off? Uh-oh. Is my internet okay?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
continue on.
Yeah, sometimes when we have like drone attacks and stuff, the internet will go screwy. Um, so yeah, so imagine you're pulling the thread this way. There's going to be some resistance here. It doesn't want to come off the spool. But also, if you pull it the wrong way, you could break it. Although it's glass, it's difficult to break. But also, it can come off in big clumps, get all tangled up with itself, or get stuck inside. So you have a spool inside a
I think
container.
anyone that has ever gone fishing can understand what tangling the lines can look
Boosh!
like. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly this. And so there's all kinds of potential problems um, in transport, right? So the drones have to be transported. You know, they put them on a freaking Humvee or an MRAP or something and drive to the safest location they could drop guys off, and then they have to walk maybe 2, 5, 15 kilometers sometimes to the position where they're going to launch these things from. And in that case, uh, they're bouncing along, and this fiber, if it's not, uh, it can settle and come off the spool. The lines can wrap around each other so that just like if you've ever pulled your headphones out of your freaking pocket, okay, and you know what a disaster that is. That's exactly what can happen to the fiber, okay. Um, and you won't know it until you start flying sometimes, and then it takes off and it goes a kilometer or 5 down the road and then just dies, and you're like, why? I don't even know what happened. So these are all things when the fiber might come out correctly when the drone's moving forward. What happens when the drone has to move backwards? Then instead of pulling this way, you're pulling this way, okay. All these things. I mean,
Super. Brushito, sorry for butchering the name. What happens after the war ends regarding the fiber optic cables? This is my trade. Fiber is dangerous. I come from its early days. Who is going to clean it all up?
that's an excellent question. It's brush it off. That's the
Brush it
name.
off. Sorry.
Brush it
I
off,
mean,
503.
actually, very accurate name for what's going to happen with the cleanup of the
Brushito.
fiber optic. Brushito, yes. I butcher names all the
We'll
time.
just brush it off. We'll just brush
Yeah,
it
we
off.
just brush it off.
I
Don't
mean,
worry.
look. Hey, here we go. So my goal after the war is I'm gonna have if I don't know if you're familiar, Georgie, with the British BBC archaeology series Time Team. You ever heard of that before?
First time
It's this
hearing.
25 years, 25 seasons. This show is majorly popular in Great Britain and in America. It's an archaeology show where they have like archaeology professors. They have work regular jobs, and then they have a host. Okay, and some grandma calls this time team. They're called. Okay, and they come out to grandma's backyard potato garden because I think I found a Roman coin, and they dig up this whole potato garden, and sometimes they discover like an ancient temple or freaking Stonehenge or something. Sometimes they find nothing, but they only have 3 days to do it. Okay, and that's the thing. It's an amazing TV show. It's on YouTube now. I want to do the same thing here in Ukraine. It's going to be Time Team, but with like mines and fiber optic cable, and that's how we're going to fund the cleanup, guys. So just be aware that's going to happen.